dating bitches' bodies and bitches is dating niggas' pockets. So it's like
That's a big fact.
you upheld you met her, and from the time you met her, she never cooked you nothing to eat. Now it's 3 years later, and you tired, and you feel like this bitch
Right. You know what you
is a
signed
job,
up
but this
for.
bitch is
Don't
a
act
business.
like she was minding her business, being herself. You decided to pursue her, and then you want to put these stipulations on her. When at no point did she tell you that that's the type of bitch she was, but because you was only looking.
Bitch, like this whole like she just fine, like you know what I'm
Does she not?
saying? And then he'll get mad because she not gonna do what another woman would do who had like morals, she was raised in a good household, or her mama really taught her how to be a woman to a man when she get a good man. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Because not these niggas, they eat last. I'm talking about a king. So um you know, when you a woman, and you build like that, and like you sit up here and listen to men just bash women so much about how they not this or how they not that, and then you look at the woman that they be going
That,
for, it's like, well, duh,
That's why
nigga,
I
that's
right.
feel
what
That's
you
like a
went
lot of
for.
dudes.
Like,
That's why I feel like a lot of dudes be asking like, "What do you bring to the table?" Because they be running into stuff like that. You know, like they always asking, "What you gonna
but the
bring to
thing
the
is,
table? What you gonna
they'll meet a
bring?"
bitch who got shit to bring to the table,
and
and
don't want to.
then like this is what they do, because it's really a cycle, and it's something that I go through so much, right? All right, boom. A nigga meet a bitch that he feel like she's a bad bitch, and this bitch, she might got her little lash line or something like that, right? So this bitch, cause y'all know niggas really be using money to monopolize the relationship. So you know what I'm saying? He'll meet a bitch. The bitch got, she do lashes or she do hair. Y'all, when you meet a nigga with money and you got something to do that day and he wants some of your time, what's the first thing a nigga say? Oh, how much you was gonna make that day? I'll pay for your little day. Now that day then turned into
Yep.
fucking weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
now y'all in a relationship, you ain't got no clientele, and you know what I'm saying? He basically taking care of you, and you doing what he say, and then the nigga meet a bitch like me and tell me how she a bill and she don't do this and she don't do that, and now it's not fucking calling me, like, you know what I'm saying? It's later on, and they not together no more, and me and that person then got together, and I'm doing everything, but niggas really love them hoes who do like the bare minimum. So then, like, he can't control me with no money or nothing like that, but I do what I'm supposed to do. But then he done started back fucking with her on me because you know what I'm saying? He back to one of the basic shit. Like, it's like niggas be saying they want this and they be saying that they want that, but it's like you can't win for losing with niggas. Like, if you're a boss bitch, it's a problem, and if you're a bum bitch, it's a
Hmm.
problem. Like, if you a
Hmm.
bitch who do everything he say, it's a problem. Like, that shit just be crazy to me.
And at
Facts.
the same time, it's like, can you cook? Can you clean? Why the fuck I gotta cook and clean all the goddamn time?
I just feel like if we both are working and we both bringing shit to the table,
We both.
them gender roles got to stop,
Yeah.
because it's like I don't have a problem with cooking. I don't have a problem with cleaning. I don't have a problem with helping your children, or if we have children, our children with their homework. Like, I don't have a problem being a woman, but you are gonna have to understand that it's gonna be some nights or some days that you got to do your own laundry. It is gonna be sometimes where you might have to cook. Now, I don't mind majority doing majority of the cooking, a majority of the laundry and shit like that. That's not an issue, because I'ma expect you to take out majority of the trash and pay majority of the bills. So that's not an issue. But to the women that, like how my brother wife was, I'm talking about this nigga pay everything, he do everything, and this bitch can't cook, and this hoe don't clean, and the kids hair not combed, and she ain't got no business. Like, that's deep to me. What you
Oh
been doing
no.
all day that this nigga come home and it ain't nothing to eat, and this man pay all the bills? But I feel like if we both working, some of the gender roles got to stop. But if
Mm,
not,
Agreed.
then I believe in gender roles.
right.
That's a
True
good
that.
compromise.
Go on, preach, girl.
Yes, tell them.
Girl, my Twitter is going crazy. It's so many people want to
It's
come up here. I
Sunday.
just everybody that's in the audience and listening and stuff. I didn't got 40 messages about starting a podcast.
I
You
am too.
definitely
Yeah,
I'm
should,
this
starting
is
girl.
a
one.
really
I
good
would
topic.
Y'all
definitely
This
start
some
one
good
too.
shit.
Yes.
Yes,
This
honey.
some good shit. I wanted. This is Myron that's talking now. I wanted to chime in
Oh, I've been
on.
waiting for you to come up here because I've been chatting with you for like 2 days on Instagram, and you always seem to miss the conversations or not getting added up. So thank you, and I'm so interested to hear what you had to contribute to the convo.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, I love to hear women, encouraging each other. That's good to hear. The thing I wanted to chime in on somebody was talking. Y'all was talking about as far as people having internal issues and things of that nature. And I think a lot of times we as Black people have an issue with not going to seek help, like counseling. I feel like a lot of us, some people need counseling, but I know somebody said that that you can handle it yourself, but sometimes it's best to sometimes seek counseling because sometimes it can be a rough journey trying to do it by yourself. And then coming from because I used to be married, so my ex-wife, she had a lot of insecurities. Just she had a whole lot that went on, but it made me kind of not say resentment in a sense because it was so much to take on at that time. So sometimes they can put a lot of burden on on both sides of the matter in a sense. But sometimes it's good to go get counseling because if you're not complete within yourself, it's kind of hard for you to try to go get with somebody else in a sense, and it makes that person a little bitter or a little soggy in a sense, things of that nature. But a lot of the things I was saying is really good shit for sure.
Yeah, when it comes to getting help, especially like you said in the Black community, getting help is so looked down upon, and I didn't understand. Well, I did understand at first because like you kind of feel weak when you have to go and seek help from a professional, but then when you really look at it, these people are trained to understand your patterns. Like I said, we're all humans. At the end of the day, we might think we're as different as we want to think, but we think a lot more alike than we think we do. And these people are trained to be able to help those things. A lot of this stuff that happens with us, especially being Black people, is a lot of deep rooted issues that we had to deal with in our
Right.
years that we kind of suppress it because nobody wants to seem soft. Nobody wants to seem this. Nobody wants to seem that. But just, we kind of torture ourselves in a way, and it's really sad to see it, and it does affect our relationships, whether it be friendships, whether it be marriages, just regular dating it, and our relationship with ourselves. And we kind of be like, oh yeah, I can just fix it on my own, it don't matter, or oh, I'm gonna pray about it. Yeah, praying about it may help you for a little bit, but praying doesn't help a chemical imbalance in your head. You
Mm-hmm.
go through something traumatic or you live through traumatic stuff that can cause a legit chemical reaction in your brain that cannot easily be solved with just praying it away or trying to think positive. Sometimes you can't think positive. So growing up in Black households, even our parents kind of wouldn't get us the help we needed, or they would feel like you don't need that shit or you don't need this shit and you're fine, you ain't depressed, when really in real life, yes, we are. That's kind of why like society doesn't see Black folks as able to have mental illnesses or depression. Anytime a Black person kills somebody, oh, he's a thug, he's this, he's that. But if a white person, oh, he's just disturbed, he's just going through a lot, and I feel like it should be normalized for Black folks to take back our abilities to take care of ourselves. It's just like it's just a lot of stuff that we do that it's kind of self-destructive in a way, like going on a broader scale, like when how people always talk about how Black women wear wigs and stuff like that, or how like we have to wear fake hair and shit. But then if a Black woman has short hair, Black folks will clown her for having short hair. And it's like, of course, then she's going to want to put a wig on. It's kind of like self-destructive, and a lot of
It's
that is just,
counterproductive.
yes. And it's like we bring each other down because within ourselves, there's a lot of stuff we need to fix, and it's just frowned upon for us to get help. And I just feel like we should, as a people, move past that. And I honestly think we will be like such a better community, you know?
Do Do you feel that people don't go to therapy because they don't want to be judged?
Absolutely, you know, because they've been judged.
Definitely.
But this is my thing. Therapy is a private thing. So judged by who?
When you go
So
and tell your
can
parents,
I give
Who
an example?
who has to know that you're going to therapy? No, like only reason people know I go to therapy is because I said it.
it's a
Exactly.
subconscious thing more than anything. It's really subconscious. Even if it is private, people still think in their head, I ain't finna go to no therapist because I ain't no
Yeah.
soft
But
and I
that's
ain't.
what I'm saying. Like we have to stop
Yeah.
Some
normalizing
people
it.
don't know though.
We have to stop normalizing that. Like,
Yeah.
people have to stop being okay with saying that's white folk shit. People have to stop
Oh
being
my god.
okay with saying that you crazy if you go. You know the do people know the definition of what insane is?
Doing the same thing over
Dude,
and expecting a
Over.
different
So yeah, I
outcome.
think you insane if you don't go to counseling.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It's from being raised in the era of the, what goes on in this house stays in this house and
Yeah.
sweeping everything under the rug type thing.
So what I've learned is sometimes you don't tell anybody that, oh, I think I need to do this, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to be against it.
mhm.
Just go get it. Just go get the help. You don't have to tell anybody. The counselor is not going to tell you. The therapist is not going to tell anybody, because there's laws and violations if they do. Don't go and tell your family and your friends, because for what? They're going to keep you. You're going to stay in the same spot. Just go
Yeah.
and do it. Go do it. Don't say anything to anybody, because they don't need to know. They really
You
don't.
And I want
you
to
Yeah.
see,
say something
But
that
then when something comes down to it, or if a situation happens, then law, in law or someone gets involved, then the councils have no choice but to release that information. So how I don't understand. I mean, I understand that that it's
Okay, because this is my thing. Because this not confusing. Okay, if first of all, going to counseling to me proves how strong you are, because you have to be a strong person to first admit that you have a fucking problem, or to
right.
admit that something is wrong. So if you're going to a counselor as a kid, that's different, because as a kid, a lot of the problems or the situations that we be in, yeah, they motherfucking asses they counselor have to tell it, because this child is being abused or this and that, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you tell me that your dad is coming there at night and fondling you, or your mom is making you perform sexual acts for money, as your counselor, you're hiring me to help you. So I'm
I
going
think
to
I
help
was more so
you.
talking about like on an adult scale, not with
Okay,
kids.
so
I'm
in the
sorry.
in the
yeah.
grown aspect, right?
So
So in the
Tokyo.
grown aspect, right? If
Yeah.
you come to me as a counselor and you tell me I want to kill myself, I'm going to kill myself. When you consented to coming and seeing me, you came to me for help. So in a helpful manner, yes, I'm going to 1013 you to a motherfucking mental health facility, because maybe it is too much going on in your household. Maybe you do need to be subtracted from the world right now and put in a facility where you can be watched at full times, and somebody can come and talk to you and give you mental moral support all day to kind of figure out why you're having these problems. So yes, I'm sending you to a place where you can get better help further than me. But your counselor is not gonna fucking call the police on you, send you to a mental health facility because you telling them you having low self-esteem,
Fact.
or that you
Right.
having crying spells. So
Mm.
like y'all have to stop putting this picture out about counselors. That's
Right.
not what's happening. And y'all need to know the difference between like a counselor, a fucking therapist, and a motherfucking psychiatrist.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one thing because I went to therapy today. And it's just been a beautiful experience for
Me
me.
too. Therapy was the best thing that could have ever happened to me for the world. Cause bitch,
And
I was a real demon.
and and I just want to say one thing about that. Like my family actually they're super religious, and my cousins, they my age, and they told me not to go to therapy, not to pray. You know, I even talked to I mean, just to pray, not. And then my uncle, I had talked to my uncle, and my uncle said, all you need is Jesus. Lot, a lot, a lot, and I'm doing a lot better than I was in the beginning of quarantine. So I just want to say that for people out in the audience who are like questioning whether or not they want to go to therapy based on what somebody else said, it has really helped me, and I just recommend that people do it.
That's what I was saying. Like, because I one time told my mom, I said, I think I need to go to therapy. Like, I really do. And she would be like, oh, well, you just need to go to church, or you just need to go pray, or you need to go do this. And I'm just like, okay. So I didn't tell her that I was going to do it because I didn't want to hear all the negative shit. I went through therapy for. I still go from time to time when I'm going through things, but there was a time in life where I just couldn't do it. Like, I had to go see somebody. I saw a psychiatrist because they're the one they gave me medication to, like, for anxiety and everything like that. But I definitely understand. But that's what I was saying as well. Like, I'm not gonna tell my family that I'm gonna go to therapy because I know how they are. So, and I understand as far as like counselors and psychiatrists and
I wanna say this. My I don't mean to cut you off, but bitch, I'll forget. Um Tokyo Jets has a book on mental health, and I didn't read her mental health book until I was at a very, very, very dark place in my life in 2020. And people don't even know this. In 2020, I was in a mental health facility for 2 weeks. But it was because I'm the strong friend. It was because nothing's ever wrong with me. It's because I lived for so long. I lived with the whole, oh, it's all right. Everybody go through shit. Keep it pushing. You're not weak. You don't need counseling. That's white folks shit. Just pray about it. For so long, I lived with that. You know what I'm saying? Until, like, the scariest thing about depression is you don't even know you depressed until sometimes until it's too late. You don't really know you depressed till you wake up in heaven, or I mean hell, or wherever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, um I read her book, and it just goes back to saying what you had just said about, like, families telling you to just pray about it, pound cake. She said something in her book that stuck with me my whole fucking life ever since, and it was, she said she feel like a lot of black people, they failed their family. And when she say that, she say because so often when things are wrong, your family, in a black family, they just tell you to pray about it. If you say something about counseling or therapy or whatever, they tell you, oh, that's white folks shit, you crazy, or something like that. So often and she also said we all got that one family member who, oh, don't oh, your Uncle Charles, he was smoking one day and somebody put some in his weed, or she was out drinking one day and somebody put eye drops in her drink. No, that's not what the fuck it was. Like, you ignore all the facts that she was suffering bipolarism, and it then escalated and turned into schizophrenia because that's white folks shit to go get help, because that's white folks shit to get diagnosed. That's white folks shit to seek help, or seek mental health, or take that shit serious, or get the right prescribed medicine. And now your fucking uncle is doing life in prison forever because he didn't fucking wild out and kill somebody,
Right.
or vice versa. Or your aunt, she a crackhead on the street now, but all this shit could have been
Facts.
prevented
Yep.
if we
That's
got
real
Right.
got
shit.
her help.
Yep.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
And
true
real
right
just
shit.
there.
one
That's
other
real.
thing
Therapy
to
and
add to
shit.
Tokyo point.
Oh.
That's deep. I ain't
People
One
gotta
Facts.
other
stop treating that shit
For
like that
real.
shit is,
nah.
oh, it's for white people. That this sometimes, my nigga, y'all have to understand that, yes, you have a chemical
Yeah,
imbalance.
that's a
Yes,
fact.
all black people suffer from PTSD. Yes, all the
Hell yeah.
history in the world is based around black people's trauma. So until people is cool with understanding that and putting their foot down and actually taking the time to sit back and actually try to figure themselves out and seek the help that they need, man. Any nigga who don't have no good relationship with his mama need counseling. Any bitch who father's not in her life, you need counseling, because you
Mm.
got issues that your significant is deeper than the person that you fucking.
Yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
well, so people have to start understanding that, like, it is not your significant. And I go back to what I said: it's not your significant other job to love you and have to love you twice because you don't love yourself and be your counselor and be your therapist and be your punching bag. Like your significant other
That's
should
real
just be
shit.
able to wholeheartedly love you and support you while you're getting the proper help that you need.
That's real
And,
shit.
I
and
think
I
that
want to say
starts with
something.
slavery.
That
too.
stuff from young though, right?
It does spike. It does stem back from slavery, and that go back to what I said about
Slavery.
the world don't even be understanding that all this shit they parade and all these holidays, all these histories that's in these history books, that shit stems from our trauma. Because during most of that part of history, they talking about this war and that war and this and this. They not saying the fact that around those same time we was getting hung on trees. Around that
Yep.
same time we
All
were
types
slaves.
of shit.
Around that same time we couldn't vote. We didn't have no rights. We was drinking off the fucking color fountain. We couldn't even go to school with white people. So, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it be deeper than what people are saying. He was the slave master because he keep creeping on there in there and raping the fucking girl mama.
Right.
I
Yeah, that's
want
true.
my grand.
Favoritism started, from slavery. Favoritism
Yeah,
started from slavery.
Shit.
On that
my
note, though,
grand.
I would recommend for everyone, if you do decide to go seek therapy, please try your best to find a Black therapist, because Black
Yes, ma'am.
therapists are the ones who will understand your plight a whole lot better than,
Right.
And
our
they have to
counterparts.
understand that you're not gonna find your perfect therapist from one fucking therapy session, man.
That
Absolutely.
That
part
shit is
too. You
like
may need to
that
go
shit is
through a
like
few of
finding the
them to
right
find your
car. You might have
person.
a car
Yep.
that's your dream car until you go
Right.
and test drive that motherfucker and see that it's kind of small in here. I really don't even like the way this bitch drive. It's a gas guzzler. Like, you get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You have to take your time and find the right therapist. You could start off with one therapist and this room, he really don't fit me. Like, he's not from my same background. So I'm gonna look up another one. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that shit like trying on shoes. Like, you gotta find the right one, and you're not gonna
Literally.
find it in one or two therapy sessions.
Right.
And I
No.
want to chime back on what Tokyo said earlier.